Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Spoonful of Species, your go-to place for conservation through baking. My name is Caitlin, and I'm an interpretive naturalist with years of experience telling the conservation stories of animals, both aquatic and terrestrial. I'm also an avid baker, so each week I bake an animal-themed dessert and then discuss the conservation for that animal and hopefully help you learn a few fun facts along the way. This week, I'm making polar bear claws. Bear claws are a sweet pastry dough filled with usually something that's got a dried fruit in it. Mine was apricot, and I got my recipe from the New York Times. To make your bear claw dough, you will need 2 cups of flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a pound of unsalted butter, and 1/2 pound of mascarpone. To make your bear claws, first place flour and salt in a mixer and mix in the butter on low speed, 2 tablespoons at a time until fully incorporated. Add the mascarpone, about 2 tablespoons at a time until well blended. Roll out and cut into appropriate rectangles and then chill for 2 hours. Polar bears are the largest carnivorous land mammals. They weigh over 1,200 pounds and can be over 10 feet tall. These large, beautiful bears are excellent hunters and are specially adapted to live in the very cold Arctic weather. Polar bears are voracious hunters, and their favorite food are seals. They can actually smell a seal from over 20 miles away across the ice and have been known to travel very long distances to find their food. Polar bears are excellent swimmers, and so when I say really long distances, I mean they can swim for miles at a time without stopping. Usually, it's not super far, but they can travel up to 60 miles at a time without stopping and have even been recorded traveling hundreds of miles to find their food, relying on their fat stores alone. When not hunting, polar bears are known for sleeping. They can sleep up to 20 hours a day, and they love to make beds out of snow or even seaweed. Polar bears also have incredible vision, and they have a third eyelid that goes over their eye when they're swimming that allows them to see up to 15 feet underwater. That's kind of like when we put on goggles that helps protect our eyes and help us see a lot more clearly when we swim. Polar bear paws, which is what this dessert was based off of, can be over 1 foot long. And their wide paws are to help them when they're swimming by acting as a paddle, to help them when they're walking on snow to act as a big snowshoe, and to help them when they're on the ice by creating big wide surface area. And also they have specialized tufts of fur between their paw pads it's really rough and coarse, and really big claws that help them as they walk on the ice. Female polar bears, after becoming pregnant, will build herself a den inside the snow, which can be up to 40 degrees warmer inside the den than outside of it. And before she goes into this den, she will eat a whole lot of food because she could be in this den for up to 8 months. So during that time, she will be pregnant, she will have her babies, and she will begin raising them, but she will be at a lower state. So she will lower her metabolism, probably won't be as active, and all of this helps this polar bear be able to produce extremely fat, nutrient-rich milk for her babies without having to leave the safety and comfort of her den. During this time, she relies solely on the fat deposits that she has built up from eating all of those seals. For your filling, you will need 2 cups dried apricots, 1/3 a cup of apricot preserves, 1 large egg yolk, 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and sugar for sprinkling over the top. While the dough is chilling, bring apricots and 2.5 cups of water to a boil and boil them for about 2 minutes. Let them cool and then chop them into bite-sized chunks. Mix your cooled apricots with the apricot preserves or any other preserves that you like, and then place them on the dough rectangles. Fold the top of the dough rectangle down over the preserves and seal on all sides. Use a knife to cut off any excess and tuck the edges under, making sure the seal is complete. Next, on the side that you sealed, cut the toes for your bear claws. Whisk your egg yolk and cream together and brush the top of each bear claw and sprinkle with sugar. Bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 35 minutes, and then dust with powdered sugar and enjoy. Polar bears are at risk for extinction. Unfortunately, global climate change is their biggest threat. So the Arctic ice is rapidly melting, and they rely on that ice to travel between food sources, to find their food, and even to build their dens in the snow to raise their babies. These massive bears, without their icy habitat, will unfortunately continue to decline in numbers and will eventually go extinct. Fortunately, there are tons of conservation projects that are going on right now that are helping polar bears both in captivity and in the wild. My favorite one is called Polar Bears International, and it helps protect polar bears in the wild, and it also helps kind of see what's going on with them right now. So, working with scientists, conservationists, and volunteers, Polar Bear International, they work towards preserving sea ice. They track polar bears in the wild. They protect their natural habitats and their food source, and they're working on multiple projects aimed at slowing global climate change. If you want to help polar bears in their natural habitat, you can visit polarbearinternational.org, and you can take a look at all of the wonderful projects that they have that they are willing to let people get involved with. They also have step-by-step processes for different people who want to get involved in different ways, and they are also accepting donations at this time. So feel free to check them out and make some delicious polar bear paws. This has been another episode of A Spoonful of Species. If you had as much fun watching this video as I did making it, please like and subscribe and follow me wherever you follow people so that I can see you next week.